So welcome to this lecture series of signal and system. Till now, we were talking about the system property, in which we had the discussion about the basic system properties like causal, non-causal system, static, dynamic system, or you can say memory and memoryless system. In this lecture, we will be talking about the remaining properties like linearity property, linear and non-linear, and time variance property, that is time variant and time invariant systems. We will be talking about the stability, that is stable or unstable systems. Starting with the linear system. A linear system is one that satisfies the superposition principle. You have given a system and we need to check whether the given system is linear or not. So we will be talking about the superposition principle. We will apply the some rules over the system and we will see if the system is satisfying the rules or not. Generally in the superposition, we are having composition of two properties like additive properties and homogeneity properties. Suppose you have given a signal xt and as per the system rule you are saying yt is equal to x square t. So while we are talking about the additive or homogeneity properties, we are talking about two different signals. So we are saying the first signal is my x1t whose output is y1t and the second one is my x2t whose output is my y2t. In these two systems, the output and input relationship will be same. Like for in this particular case, the relationship is yt is equal to square of input because xt was input. So I can say my output is nothing but square of my input. That is the relation which is given to you. So in this case, when we are talking about the y2, y2 will be x2 square and y1 will be x1 square. And then we are saying the system is linear if x1t plus x2t, if we are adding these two inputs and we are passing it through the same system, it is providing you the output which is equal to y1t plus y2t. Similarly, in the homogeneity property, we are talking about the multiplication by a common factor a, and we are saying if the input signal is x1t whose response is y1t, so if you are multiplying the input signal by a and we are saying the new input signal is a of x1t and we are passing it through the same system, the output will be a of y1t. So if either of the property is not satisfying, the system will be non-linear system. For linear system, both the properties should be satisfied. We will take some example and we will see what does it mean by and how to check these two properties for the given system. Talking about the first, that is additive properties. So suppose you have given an input output relationship yt equal to xt plus 10. So this is the input which is given. So this is the input output relation which is given to you, that is yt equal to xt plus 10, and from here I can say output is nothing but input plus 10. That is the relation in between input and output. So when we are considering two different signal x1t and x2t, so when we are passing the x1t from the first system, the system will be same in all the cases. So y1t will be x1t plus 10. So this will be my x1t plus 10. Similarly, y2t, when I am passing x2t from the system, it will be x2t plus 10. And the summation of these two, y1 and y2, will result in x1t plus x2t plus 20. So we can say y1t is x1t plus 10, y2t is x2t plus 10, and the summation will be x1t plus x2t plus 20. So this is when we have added the output. Now, if we are adding the input x1 and x2 and we are passing it through the same system, then what should be the output? So we are adding these two input now. So initially input was x1 and x2. Now the new input will be x1t plus x2t. So let the input is p. The new input is p. And we are passing it through the same system. So y dash t will be, it will be p plus 10 because yt is input plus 10. So this will be p plus 10 as per the given question. And what is p in this case? P is my x1t plus x2t. So this will be x1t plus x2t plus 10, right? Because the new input p is equal to x1 plus x2, and now that in this input is passed through your system. and then we are checking the output. So for additive property to be fulfilled, these two output has to be same. If you will see here, these two are not equal. So the given system is not a linear system. If any one property is not satisfying, there only you can say the given system is not a linear system. It is a non-linear system. For a linear system, both the properties should be satisfied. So here we have cross-checked the additive property only. Now talking about the second property, that is homogeneity property. So in the homogeneity property, what we are saying is we have given the input output relation yt equal to x square t. So in this case, the output input relationship is output equal to input square. So first case, when we are passing our input xt to the system, yt will be equal to x square t. And when I am multiplying it with any given factor k, it will be k of x square t. Now in the second case, we will be multiplying the input by the same factor k before passing it to the system. So my new input will be k of xt. That is my p. And when we are passing this input p through the system, the output will be now p square. Right? Because output is equal to input square. So y dash t will be my p square. And what is p here? K of xt. So I can say y dash will be nothing but my k square x square t. So in this case, again, you can say both the outputs are not equal. So system is not following the homogeneity property. So the given system is my non-linear system. Let's have an example. Yt equal to x of sine t. Now, if I'm checking this x of sine t, I can say first we will cross check for additive property and then we will cross check it for homogeneity. So for additive, x1t and we are passing it through the system. So y1t will be x1 sine of t. Similarly, y2 will be x2 sine of t. And when we will add these two output, this will be x1 sine of t plus x2 sine of t. This will be my equation 1. Now in the second case, first we will go for the addition of the input signal and then we will pass it to the system. So in the addition, it will be x1 plus x2t. And when I am passing it to the system, the output will be x1 sine t plus x2 sine t. And both the signals are equal. So we can say it is following the additive property. But still we are not commenting on the linearity property because we need to cross check it for homogeneity as well. So for homogeneity, we will first multiplying the output by a factor k. So k of yt will be k of x sine t. In the second case, we will multiplying the input by a factor k. It will be k of xt. That is my new input. And when I am passing it to the system, it will be k of x of sine t. Both are again equal. So I can say yt equal to x of sine t is a linear system for me. Here we can say, or we can conclude one thing, that is your linearity property is independent on time scaling. Time scaling means suppose you have given a relation yt equal to xt. So here we can simply say the given system is linear because it is simply depending on the input. If I'm having x of 2t, again the system will be linear in nature because it will not be depending on time scaling. I can have x of t square. X of t square will also be a linear function or linear system. So your linearity property is not depending on time scaling. So this is how we are cross-checking the linearity property of any given system. Here we are cross-checking the superposition theorem in terms of two different theorems. So we have separately cross-checking it for additive and homogeneity. In some book, you will find it that people are cross-checking it by using a direct method in which both the properties are combined. So what they are doing is they are considering the system H is said to be linear if a1 x1t plus a2 x2t, that is first they are talking about the additive property when they are passing the summation of two signal to the system, that should be equal to when they are passing the individual signal from the system. And that's what we are doing in the additive property. But here it is being multiplied by a factor A1 and A2. So that's why it is a combination of these two properties. And the same rule will be followed for our discrete time system, where we will talking about that the summation of these two inputs, that is A1 x1 and A2 x2, and while you are passing it from the given system, so that output should be equal to the summation of the output when you are individually passing it from the system. And if your system is not satisfying this condition, the system is considered as a non-linear system. Talking about an example, xt equal to cos of omega ct. So the given example is output yt is equal to xt cos omega ct. If I'm talking about a direct method where it will be linear if function a1 x1t plus a2 x2t is equal to a1 h x1t plus a2 h of x2t. So if I'm talking about the first one, the left hand side, we can write this as a a1 x1t cos omega ct plus a2 x2t cos omega ct. Omega ct will be common, so it will be something like this. In the right hand side, we can solve it individually for this part and this, the part A and part B. Let this is my part A and this is part B. So I can have part A will be a1 x1 cos omega ct, a1 x1 cos omega ct, plus for part B it will be a2 x2 cos omega ct. And again I can have the omega cos omega ct common, and we will come to know that both are equal. So when both the things are equal, the system will be linear. Another example, yn equal to axn plus b. Again, first we will cross check it for the left hand side. Then we will check it for individually a and b part, and we will go for the summation of a and b. So in the first case, the input will be a1 x1 plus a2 x2. And when we are passing it through the system saying that output is equal to a of input, a time input plus b. That's what the system response. So here, this will be my input, which we are passing to the system. So when I am passing it from the system, it will be a time input plus b. This will be my equation 1. Now in the second case, in the right hand side, first we will cross check for a. A will be a1 into a of x1 n plus b. a1 into a of xn plus b plus a2 a of x1 plus b. This is we are going for a plus b. So from here you can say it is nothing but a common a1 x1 n plus a2 x2 n plus twice of b. In the first case we have only b term. In the second case we are getting the twice of b. Since both are not equal, the given system is non-linear in nature. You can even use the first method as well. Go for the additive property, go for the homogeneity property separately, and see whether the given system is linear or non-linear. Talking about the examples, so the first example we have already solved, that is yt equal to x square t. The first question is your non-linear in nature. Second one, yn, this is a discrete signal, yn equal to xn plus x of n minus 1. We need to check it for whether the system is linear or non-linear. When you will cross check it, xn plus x of n minus 1, the system will be linear in nature. Third one, yn equal to n of xn square. Third system will also be linear in nature. Last two are linear. The first one is my non-linear. The next one is my time variance property. In the time variance, we are talking about time variant and time invariant. That is, time variance and time invariance means, suppose we have a given system in which you are applying the input and you are getting the output. So if you are changing that or you are delaying the input signal by a time t naught, your output should also be delayed by the same time interval. Similarly, if you are going for time advance of your input signal by a time t naught, your output should also be a time advance signal by t naught. If this thing is satisfied by your system, we call that system is time invariant. It is not varying with time. Otherwise, the system will be time variant. We can have another example. Suppose you are moving from place A to place B. Distance is same. So suppose you are starting at 9 o'clock and you are reaching at time at place B by 10 o'clock. So we are saying, what if you are starting at 9:15? So if you are starting from place A by 9:15, you should be able to reach at place B by 10:15. You are delaying by 15 minutes, so you should be able to reach there by 15 minutes. We could have another scenario that you are saying that, okay, we are starting, if we are starting from place A at 9 a.m., we will be able to reach at B by 10 a.m. But if we are starting it 15 minutes late, we are starting by 9:15 because of the heavy traffic, because of that 15-minute delay, there will be a heavy traffic and we will be able to reach there by 10:30. In that case, your system is time variant because it is varying with time. If somebody else will say, no, if I am starting it by 11 o'clock, I will be able to reach by 1 o'clock. That person is taking 2 hours, right? Third person might say, but what if I am starting by 8:45? I will be able to reach by 9:15 only within 30 minutes because of that time, I will not be getting any traffic. So here, all these examples are your time variant system because they are varying with time. Now, what we are doing is, you have a given system, we will delay your output by a factor like T naught. In the second case, we will delay your input and we will pass it through the system and then we will cross check the response. If in both the case response are equal, we will say that system is my time invariant. Otherwise, the system will be time variant in nature. For example, yt equal to x of 2t. This is given to us and we need to cross check it for time variance property. So yt equal to x of 2t. First, we will go for delaying the output. So when I am delaying the output, that is y of t minus t naught. So what we are doing is, we are replacing t by t minus t naught. So this will be something like x of 2 common and we are replacing t by t minus t naught. So what we are getting is, when output is delayed, it will be x of 2t minus 2t naught. 2t minus 2t naught. This is the equation 1. In the second case, we will first delay the input and then we will pass it to the system. So when we are delaying the input, it will be x of t minus t naught. And when we are passing it to system is nothing but yt equal to x of 2t. So it will be 2t minus t naught. So when we are delaying the input, this input is this output is y1. So this was y1. So y2 will be x of 2t minus t naught when we have delayed the input signal. Equation 1 and 2 are not equal, so it is not satisfying our time variance property. It means the given signal is time variant. Another example, x of cos t. When we will delay the output by t naught, yt minus t naught, it will be x of cos t minus t naught. And when we will delay the input is xt. First it will be x of t minus t naught. So when we will pass it to the system will be cos t. So it will be x of cos t minus t naught. Again, both are not equal. The given system is time variant in nature. So if we are having time scaling, the system will always be time variant, because time scaling means, suppose we have a system called x of 80. So when you will delay the output, it will be x of 80 minus 80 naught, because you will be replacing t by t minus t naught. And when you will be delaying the input, this is when you are delaying the output. So when you are delaying the input, it will be x of 80 minus t naught, and both will never be equal. So if we are having time scaling, the given system will always be time variant in nature, whereas the time scaling property is not affecting our linearity. If xt is linear, x of 2t will also be linear. Let's solve some questions. The first one is yn equal to xn square. Here we are having the time scaling in the discrete domain. So when we have the time scaling in the discrete domain, this will be my time variant. Second one, yn equal to xn plus x2n. In this case, the first one is my time invariant, but the second one is my time variant. So overall signal will be time variant in nature. Third one, yt equal to x of minus t. Here we are having a scaling factor of minus. So that's why the given signal will be time variant in nature. Because when you will cross check for output, when you will go for the output delaying, it will be x of minus common t minus t naught. Or you can write it like x of minus t plus t naught. And when you will go for first delaying the input and then you will pass it to the system, it will be x of minus t naught. And since both are not equal, your given system is time variant in nature. The fourth one, yn equal to xn sine of omega cn. Here again the system will be time variant in nature, because when you will be delaying the output, it will be x of n minus n naught sine of omega c n minus n naught, because you are replacing n by n minus n naught. But when you are delaying the input only, it will be x n minus n naught sine of omega c n, because sine of omega c n is not an input signal. And the last one, yt equal to integration minus infinite to t x tau d tau. So this signal will also be a time invariant signal, right? So you can say the last one is your time invariant, remaining four are your time variant signal. This is how we are cross-checking it for time variance property. Okay, thank you. We'll stop here. In the next lecture, we will be talking about the remaining properties like stability, where we will be talking about the BIBO stability, bounded input, bounded output stability.